I stole your motivation today, could you still win the day? If the answer is no, you don't need another pep talk. You need a system. Quick mini test. When you wake up, do you decide what happens next? Or do you react to what happens next? Be honest. If you're reacting, you're not lazy. You're just running the default program. And the default program is designed to waste your life. High value people don't wake up inspired. They wake up structured. And I know what some people are thinking, but I'm not a morning person. Good, this isn't a wake up at 5 a.m. and become a billionaire fantasy. This is a repeatable 10-step template that works whether you start at 6 a.m., 9 a.m., or 1 p.m. The clock doesn't matter. The sequence does. Here's the deal. Your day is a product. And right now, most people are shipping a broken product every single day. Late delivery, low quality, no clear result. Then they wonder why their life doesn't improve. Let me tell you a tiny story. A friend of mine once said, "I keep waiting for motivation." I asked him, "How often does it show up?" He laughed and said, "Like twice a month." And that's when I realized a lot of people are living on a motivation paycheck. That's broke behavior. So today, I'm giving you a template, a high-value day. You can run it on repeat. You can tweak it. But if you follow it, you stop relying on feelings and start relying on structure. And before we start, one warning: this is not comfortable. Comfort is what keeps people average. This is simple, but simple doesn't mean easy. If you want easy, close the video right now and go scroll. If you want a life that actually moves, stay with me. All right? Step 1. Wake. Water plus light. No, I'm not kidding. Water and light. Because your body is not a machine that turns on with motivation. Your body turns on with biology. Mini test. When you wake up, what's the first thing you put into your brain? If it's your phone, you're already behind. Your brain is waking up to other people's priorities. Do this instead. Stand up, drink water, and get bright light in your eyes. Sunlight if possible, or a bright window. You're telling your nervous system, we are awake. We are online. Real life moment. Imagine two versions of you. Version A. Alarm hits. You grab the phone. You see a message. "Hey, can you do this ASAP?" You reply, half asleep. "Sure." Congratulations. You just accepted someone else's schedule before your brain even booted. Version B. Alarm hits. You drink water. You step into light. You breathe. Then you decide what matters first. Same person, different life. Step 2. 5 minutes of silence. No inputs. This is where weak people panic. Silence? No music? No podcast? Yeah, silence. 5 minutes. That's it. Because most people are addicted to input. They can't be alone with their thoughts. And that's exactly why their thoughts control them. Here's what silence does. It gives you space between stimulus and response. Quick question. When was the last time you heard your own mind without someone else talking over it? Do 5 minutes sitting. No phone, no email, no news, no learning. Just quiet. Let your brain settle. If your mind starts racing, perfect. That's the mess you've been carrying. You can't clean a room while pretending it isn't dirty. Step 3. Write your top 3 outcomes for the day. Not 30 goals, not a to-do list the size of a novel. 3 outcomes. Outcomes are different from tasks. Answer emails is a task. Close the loop on 3 key conversations is an outcome. Work on project is vague. Finish first draft of the script is an outcome. Mini test. If I asked you right now, what are the 3 outcomes that would make today a win? Could you answer in 10 seconds? If you can't, that's why your day feels slippery. It's because you're busy, not effective. Write them down, on paper if possible. If you do it digitally, fine, but you need to see them. Here's a simple formula if you get stuck. 1 outcome for money/work, 1 outcome for health/energy, 1 outcome for life, admin, or relationships. Example. Finish the first 90 minutes of my most important project. Do a short workout and eat real protein. Handle 1 annoying life task I've been avoiding. Now your day has a spine. Step 4. 60 chapter 90 minutes. Deep work block. This is where your future gets built. Not in meetings, not in group chats, not in research, in deep work. And deep work means 1 task, 1 screen, 1 focus. You don't need motivation for this. You need protection. Here's the rule. Your first deep work block must happen before you open the chaos portals: email, messages, social media. Let me say it sharper. If you check messages before you do deep work, you've chosen to be a firefighter today. You will spend the whole day putting out other people's fires. Real-life dialogue you've heard before. You. I didn't have time to work on my goals today. Life. Interesting. You had time to respond to everyone else, though. So set a timer, 60 minutes. If you can do 90, even better. Put the phone in another room. Use a sight blocker if you need it. And pick one of your 3 outcomes. Start there. If you feel resistance, good. Resistance is a sign you're touching something meaningful. Quick shock line. The more important the work is, the more your brain will beg you to escape. Your job is to not negotiate with that voice. Step 5. Quick movement. Not a full gym session. Not an hour. Quick movement to reset your state. Because deep work burns mental fuel. Movement clears the mental fog. Do 5 to 10 minutes. Walk outside. Push-ups. Stretching. Air squats. Anything. Mini test. Are you the type of person who waits to feel energetic before moving? Or do you move to create energy? High-value rule. You don't wait for energy. You generate it. And here's the sneaky benefit. Movement is a pattern interrupt. It stops you from sliding into, I worked hard, so I deserve to scroll. Step 6. Protein plus simple meal. This is where people sabotage themselves and then blame life. If you eat trash, your brain will perform like trash. That's not judgment. That's physics. You don't need a perfect diet. You need a non-stupid breakfast or first meal. Protein. Simple. Repeatable. Example. Eggs, yogurt, chicken, tofu, Protein shake. Whatever fits your culture and budget. Keep it boring. Boring is reliable. Movie-like line that's too real. I don't know why I can't focus. Also, you. Living on sugar and caffeine. If you want to feel stable, eat stable. Now, before we go to the next steps, I want you to picture something. Imagine your day is a conveyor belt. Every time you touch your phone for just a second, you throw sand into the machine. It still runs, but slower and noisier, and eventually it breaks. So here's a challenge. For the next 24 hours, count how many times you just quickly check something. You'll be shocked. And that shock is the start of change. Next step is where most people lose their whole day because it feels productive, but it's actually a trap. It's the communication block, and if you don't control it, it controls you. Because if you don't control communication, you'll spend your best hours reacting to other people's priorities, and then you'll call it a busy day. That's not a busy day. That's a stolen day. Step 7. Communication block. Emails, messages. This is the moment you open the gates, so you need rules before you open them. Here's the structure. One tight block, 20 to 40 minutes. Not all day, not whenever I feel like it. A block. Mini test. When you check messages, do you go in to finish, or do you go in to feel needed? Because a lot of people aren't addicted to social media. They're addicted to being pinged. They feel important when someone asks for something. And that's how you become everybody's assistant. Set a timer. Open email messages. Process, don't browse. Use this simple triage script. If it takes under 2 minutes, do it now. If it takes longer, schedule it or add it to a task list. If it's not yours, delegate it. If it doesn't matter, delete it. Real-life dialogue you need to start using. Person. Hey, can you send that today? You. I can send it by 4 p.m. If you need it sooner, what should I deprioritize? That one sentence changes your life. It forces reality into the conversation. Weak people say, sure, and then drown. High-value people negotiate priorities. Another real-life line, this time the one you stop saying. You. Sorry for the late reply. I've been so busy. Translation, I let messages run my schedule. Your communication block is not just about efficiency. It's about identity. You're proving to yourself, I control my day. Now, here's the rhythm jolt you need. If you do communication before deep work, your day becomes reactive. If you do it after deep work, your day becomes productive. That's the difference between building a life and maintaining a life. Step 8. Second deep work block. Most people never get here because they waste the middle of the day on scattered tasks, random calls, and quick checks that turn into 45 minutes. Your second deep work block doesn't need to be as long. Even 45 to 60 minutes is enough. But it must be real focus. Pick either outcome 2 from your list or the one ugly task you keep postponing. Quick question. What's one task you've been avoiding that would instantly reduce stress if it was done? Do that here. This is where you earn peace later. A tiny story. I used to postpone one simple admin thing for weeks. One email, one form, one follow-up. It took me 12 minutes to finish, but I carried it in my head for 12 days. That's a terrible trade. 12 minutes of effort versus 12 days of mental weight. So in the second deep work block, you hunt the mental leaks. And here's the trick to make this work even on low-energy days. Lower the entry barrier. Tell yourself, I will work for 10 minutes. Once you start, you usually keep going. Starting is the real battle. Movie-style line that hits too close. I'll do it later. Later. You're tired, distracted, and angry at yourself. Do it while you still have daylight in your brain. Step 9. Skill practice. 30 minutes. This is the part that separates successful from stuck. Because deep work keeps your current life running. Skill practice upgrades your future. If you're learning English, this is where you get unfair advantage. Because most people want to improve, but never practice consistently. And we're not doing fantasy studying. We're doing practical reps. Here's a simple 30-minute English practice that you can do tonight, even if you're busy. The 3-10-17 method. 3 minutes. Pick one topic you actually talk about in real life. Work, money, health, relationships, travel. Something real. 10 minutes. Write a short voice script, 8 to 12 lines. Simple sentences. Natural. 17 minutes. Record yourself speaking it 3 times. First time, slow. Second time, natural. Third time, with emotion. That's it. Mini test. Do you study English by watching videos, but never speaking? If yes, you're consuming, not training. Real-life conversation example you can steal. Work situation. Coworker. Can you join the meeting tomorrow? You. Yes, what time is it? And what's the main goal of the meeting? Coworker. We need to finalize the plan. You. Got it. I'll prepare my notes and share my ideas. You record that. You repeat it. You build muscle. Second example, daily life. Friend. Why are you so strict with your routine lately? You. Because I realized motivation is unreliable. A routine is something I can trust. Friend. Does it really help? You. Yes, it's not magic, but it makes my days predictable, and that makes progress easier. Third example, movie-like, short and sharp. Someone. You work a lot. You. No, I work on purpose. That's the energy. Not more hours, more intention. Now here's the retention jolt. If you skip skill practice, you stay the same person. If you do it daily, you become dangerous. In a good way. And don't overthink which skill. Pick one. English, sales, editing, coding, fitness technique. Whatever moves your life forward. Because the world doesn't reward potential. It rewards demonstrated ability. Now we're at the final step of the template, the step that makes tomorrow easier than today. Most people ignore it, then wonder why every day feels like starting over. The night review is where high-value days stack. Because without a night review, you don't build momentum. You just survive another day and reset back to zero. High-value days don't come from intensity. They come from stacking. Step 10. Night review plus prep tomorrow. This step is the glue. It's also the step most people skip because it feels small. And that's exactly why it works. Small things repeated daily create massive change. The same way small mistakes repeated daily destroy people. Here's the night review in 7 minutes. Set a timer. Do it even if the day was messy. What went right today? One sentence. What went wrong? One sentence. What's the one adjustment for tomorrow? One sentence. That's it. Mini test. When you fail a day, do you learn from it, or do you punish yourself for it? Punishment feels productive, but it's useless. Adjustments are productive. Now you prep tomorrow in 3 moves. Write tomorrow's top 3 outcomes. Identify the first deep work task. Prepare the environment. Open the dock, put the notebook on the table, set the gym clothes, whatever. This is where you make tomorrow automatic. Because tomorrow morning, you won't feel like it. You'll be half asleep, slightly anxious, slightly distracted. If you've prepared, you simply follow the plan. If you haven't, you'll negotiate with your brain, and your brain will choose comfort every time. A quick story you'll recognize. Ever gone to bed thinking, tomorrow I'll be disciplined, then woke up and instantly said, not today? That's not a personality flaw. That's a system flaw. You're asking your weakest version of yourself, morning you, to make strong decisions. That's dumb. So instead, you let night you do the thinking and morning you do the executing. Now, before we go further, I want to hit you with a blunt truth. If you don't design your day, someone else will. And it won't be malicious. It'll be subtle. A message here, a request there, a small emergency. And suddenly, it's 6 p.m., and your real goals never got touched. Here's a quick, high-value day recap so far, but in a way you can actually remember. Activate your body. Water plus light. Clear your mind. Silence. Choose outcomes. Top 3. Build future first. Deep work. Reset your state. Movement. Stabilize energy. Protein. Handle the world. Communication block. Build again. Second deep work. Upgrade yourself. Skill practice. Stack the days. Night review plus prep. That's the system. Now let's make it real. Because if you just listen and feel inspired, you'll do nothing. Inspiration is cheap. Execution is rare. So here's a do it tonight method. Concrete, simple, no excuses. The tonight setup, 15 minutes total. Minute 1, 3. Open a blank note. Write tomorrow's date. Then write, tomorrow is a win if, and list 3 outcomes. Minute 4 to 8. Choose the first deep work task. Define the first 10 minutes. Not work on my project. Instead, open the doc, write the first paragraph, or create the outline, or reply to the one difficult email. Make the first step stupidly easy. Minute 9 to 12. Prepare the environment. Put your phone charger outside your bedroom if you can. Put a water bottle where you'll see it. If you need to study English, open the script note already. If you need to work out, put the clothes out. Minute 13 to 15. Set one boundary. This boundary is the difference between a structured day and a chaotic day. Examples: no messages until after my first deep work block. No social media before noon. One communication block only. Pick one. Don't be heroic. Be consistent. Rhythm jolt question. If you had to choose just one boundary that would change your life, what would it be? Now, I want to address the thing people always say at this point. But my life is unpredictable. Kids, work, school, emergencies. I get it. Your day might get hit. That's normal. The point of a system isn't perfection. The point is recovery. Even if your morning gets destroyed, you still run the sequence later. If you wake up late, you still do water plus light. If you miss the first deep work block, you still do a second one. If the day goes crazy, you still do night review and prep. That's how adults win. Not by avoiding chaos, but by returning to structure faster than other people. Here's a real-life dialogue that shows the difference. Person A. My day got messed up, so the whole day is ruined. Person B. My day got messed up, so I'm restarting at the next step. That's it. Restart. Don't dramatize it. Now, let's talk about what makes this template high value. High value doesn't mean you do more. It means you do what matters. So here are the 3 high-value rules inside the template. Rule 1. Protect your first deep work block, because the first block sets the trajectory. Rule 2. Communication is contained, because unlimited communication equals unlimited distraction. Rule 3. The day ends with a review, because reflection turns experience into improvement. If you apply those 3 rules, you'll feel different within a week. Not magically, logically, because your time will finally match your priorities. And now, the strongest part, your confidence. Confidence is not a feeling. Confidence is evidence. When you run a structured day, you collect evidence that you can trust yourself. Most people don't trust themselves. They make promises and break them daily. That's why their self-talk is weak. They've trained it. But when you keep even small commitments, water plus light, 5 minutes of silence, 1 deep work block, you start believing yourself again. That's priceless. Now, the next thing we need to cover is how to make this system stick, even when you're tired, stressed, or traveling. Because the system is only powerful if you can run it on your worst days, not your best days. Because a system that only works when you feel good is not a system. It's a mood. And moods don't pay bills, don't build skills, and don't protect your future. So now we make this template stick. On tired days, chaotic days, travel days, even bad mental health days. That's when it matters most. Here's the first hard truth. Your worst days need the simplest version of the system. Not more steps, fewer steps. The goal is not to be perfect. The goal is to stay in the game. So I'm going to give you 3 modes: full day, busy day, and survival day. Same structure, different intensity. Mode 1, full day, what you just learned. All 10 steps. This is when life is normal. Mode 2, busy day, when you're overloaded. You keep the spine. Water plus light, top 3 outcomes. 1 deep work block. even 30 minutes. 1 communication block, night review plus prep. That's enough to win a busy day. Mode 3, survival day, when everything is on fire. You keep the minimum viable day. Water plus a light. 1 outcome. 10 minutes of deep work night review. Yes, 10 minutes. Because 10 minutes protects your identity. I am the person who still shows up. Mini test. When life hits you, do you stop completely? Or do you downshift and continue? Downshifting is a skill. It's how professionals operate. Now, I want to show you the psychological trick that makes all of this automatic. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your environment. So if your environment is built for distraction, your discipline won't survive. Let's do a quick environment audit. Answer these fast. Is your phone within arm's reach when you sleep? Do you have notifications on for messages/social media? Do you open email before you do deep work? Is your workspace messy or clean? Do you know what you're working on before you start working? If you said yes to the first 3, your day is being hijacked before it begins. Here are 3 environment upgrades that take 5 minutes each. Upgrade 1. Put your phone to sleep. Not you. The phone. Put it outside your bedroom, or at least across the room. If you use it as an alarm, fine. Still across the room. The goal is no scrolling in bed. Real life scene you've lived. Alarm rings. You grab the phone. 1 notification turns into 5. 5 turns into 20 minutes. Now you're anxious, behind, and your brain is already overstimulated. That is not checking. That is losing the first battle of the day. Upgrade 2. Build a deep work launchpad. Before bed. Open the document you need. Put the notebook and pen where you'll see them. Write the first line you'll type tomorrow. Make starting stupidly easy. Because the hardest part of deep work is starting. So, you remove friction. Upgrade 3. Kill the silent killers. Notifications, bad tabs, random apps. Turn off non-essential notifications. Put social apps in a folder called Later. If you want to go further, log out every night. Make distractions slightly annoying. A small annoyance repeated daily becomes a huge advantage. Now let's hit a rhythm jolt with a question that stings. Are you actually busy, or are you just constantly interrupted? Most people aren't working too much. They're switching too much. Their brain never gets to settle into real focus. And that's why they feel tired without producing anything meaningful. So here's a rule that protects your brain. No multitasking, only sequencing. You don't do deep work and messages at the same time. You do deep work, then messages. You don't eat while scrolling and call it rest. You eat, then rest. You don't relax while checking work and call it recovery. High-value people don't live faster. They live cleaner. Now let me give you the retention tool that makes this day template addictive, in a good way. It's called the scoreboard. Every day, you score yourself from 0 to 10 based on the system, not your feelings. Here's a simple scoring method. Water plus light, 1 point. Silence, 1 point. Top 3 outcomes. Written, 1 point. First, Deep work block, 2 points. Movement, 1 point. Protein/simple meal, 1 point. Communication block, contained, 1 point. Second, deep work or skill practice, 1 point. Night review plus prep, 1 point. Total, 10 points. Now the game becomes clear. Mini test. If you tracked this for 7 days, what score would you get? And here's the powerful part. You're not chasing perfection. You're chasing trends. If you go from 310 to 610, your life changes. If you go from 610 to 810, your life transforms. Now, I promised real dialogue examples, so here's another one that shows how to defend your day without being rude. Boss/client. Can you jump on a call right now? I can do a call at 2 p.m. or 4 p.m. Right now, I'm in a focused work block. Boss/client. It'll only take 5 minutes. If it's 5 minutes, send it as a message, and I'll reply in my communication block. That is calm power. No apology, no drama, just structure. And yes, at first, some people won't like it. That's fine. People who benefit from your lack of boundaries will complain when you build boundaries. But here's the question. Are you here to be liked? Or are you here to build a life you respect? Now, one more thing that makes this system work worldwide. Different countries, different schedules, different responsibilities. Anchors. Your day doesn't need a perfect timetable. It needs anchors. An anchor is a non-negotiable sequence trigger. Like, after I wake up, I drink water and get light. After my first deep work, I move. After my communication block, I return to deep work. Before sleep, I review and prep. Anchors make the system portable. You can run it in any time zone, any job, any lifestyle. And if you're learning English, here's the anchor that will upgrade you fast. Right after your second deep work block, or right after dinner, do 10 minutes of speaking practice. Not watching, speaking. Tonight's action. Open your phone voice recorder. Say this out loud, 3 times, with emotion. I don't rely on motivation anymore. I rely on structure. My day has a plan, and my plan makes me free. It sounds simple, but saying it out loud trains identity. Identity drives behavior. Now we're ready for the final layer. The thing that makes a high-value day feel meaningful, not robotic. How to add emotion, purpose, and momentum so the routine doesn't turn into a prison. Because if your routine feels like a prison, you'll eventually escape. And most people escape straight into the worst place, comfort with no progress. So we're going to add the part most productivity videos forget: meaning, emotion, and momentum, without turning this into fake manifestation nonsense. Here's the truth. Structure is the engine. Meaning is the fuel. If you only build an engine, you'll still stall. So let's install 3 things inside your day template: a reason, a reward, a reset. First, the reason. You need a clear why, but not the cheesy kind. A real one that hits your chest. Ask yourself one question. Fast. No overthinking. What does a wasted year cost me? Not money. Life. Because people act like time is free. It isn't. Time is the only thing you can't earn back. Rhythm jolt. If you repeat your average day for 365 days, where do you end up? That question is uncomfortable. Good. Discomfort is a signal that you're awake. Now turn that into a one-sentence mission for the next 90 days. Not forever. 90 days. Examples. For 90 days, I am building English fluency so I can earn better opportunities. For 90 days, I am rebuilding my focus so I stop living distracted. For 90 days, I am building a body I respect. Keep it simple. If it's complicated, you won't remember it when you're tired. Now place that sentence somewhere you will see it. On your desk, phone wallpaper, notebook, whatever. Not for motivation, for direction. Second, the reward. A lot of people think rewards are childish. They're not. Rewards are how brains learn, but the reward has to be clean, not a reward that destroys the system. Bad reward. I did deep work, so I deserve 1 hour of scrolling. That's like saying, I brushed my teeth, so I deserve to eat sugar all night. Clean reward examples. After the first deep work block, coffee outside, 10-minute walk, music, a short chat. After skill practice, 1 episode of something, guilt-free. After night review, a warm shower, reading fiction, calm time. The rule is simple. Rewards must restore energy, not steal it. Mini test. What do you currently use as a reward that secretly makes tomorrow harder? Be honest. That answer is probably your biggest leak. Third, the reset. This is the part that stops one bad moment from destroying the whole day. Because everyone has derailments. A stressful message, a bad meeting, a family problem, a wave of anxiety, a random disaster. The difference is not whether you get hit, it's how fast you reset. Here's a 60-second reset you can do anywhere. Exhale slowly for 6 seconds. Relax your shoulders. Ask, what's the next step in the template? Do the next tiny action. That's it. You're not fixing your whole life in that moment. You're returning to the track. Real-life dialogue inside your head. Upgraded. Old you. My day is ruined. New you. My day is interrupted. I'm restarting. That sentence is powerful. Use it. Now, let's make this emotional. Not in a dramatic way, in a real way. Your day template is not about being productive. It's about becoming the kind of person who keeps promises to themselves. Because the painful part isn't failing goals. The painful part is losing self-trust. And self-trust is built by small wins. So here's a momentum rule that changes everything. Never miss twice. If you miss a deep work block today, fine. Life happens. But tomorrow, you protect it. If you skip skill practice today, fine. But tomorrow, 10 minutes, minimum. Because 1 miss is an event. 2 misses is a pattern. Patterns become identity. Rhythm jolt question. What pattern are you currently repeating that you swear you don't want, but you keep feeding? That's the pattern you starve, starting now. Now let's lock this in for English learners globally, because you said this video should speak to people who want English. Here's how you weave English improvement into the day template without finding extra time. You attach English to an existing step. Skill practice equal English practice. Communication block equals write one email message in English if possible. Night review equals one sentence in English about your day. This is called stacking. You don't add a new habit. You attach it to a habit that already exists. Tonight, do this specific method. The 1-minute movie scene method. Works even if you're shy. Pick a scene you know in your language. Any scene from a movie, series, or real life. Now rewrite it in simple English, 6 to 8 lines. Example scene. Someone is late. Person A. You're late. Person B. I know, I'm sorry. Person A. What happened? Person B. Traffic was insane. Person A. Next time, text me. Person B. You're right. I will. Now record it twice. First time, slow, clear pronunciation. Second time, natural. Emotion. Like acting. This builds speaking confidence fast because you're practicing a real situation, not random vocabulary. And here's the mini test. Do you want English for exams or for real conversations? If it's real conversations, you must speak. Now, another real-life conversation example you can practice that connects to the whole high-value day idea. Friend, why are you suddenly so disciplined? You. Because I'm tired of wasting days. I want my life to move. Friend, but don't you get tired? You. Of course. That's why I use a system. The system carries me when motivation disappears. That is real. That's not Instagram motivation. That's adulthood. Now I'm going to give you one more retention shock line. If you keep living the same day, you will meet the same problems. Just older. That's what scares me for people. Not failure, repetition. So your system is a way to break repetition. And when you feel bored, because you will, remember this. Boredom is the price of consistency. Because a high-value day isn't just private, it's social. And if you don't handle the social part, people will pull you off track, because even the best personal routine gets destroyed if the people around you don't understand your boundaries. And no, this isn't about becoming cold. It's about becoming clear. A high-value day is social. You live with humans. You work with humans. And humans will test your structure. Sometimes accidentally, sometimes because they're used to the old version of you. The always available you. So we handle the social layer with 3 tools: boundary language, expectation setting, repair. Tool 1. Boundary language. Most people don't have boundaries. They have apologies. They say sorry before they even say no. And that trains everyone to keep pushing. You don't need to be aggressive. You need to be precise. Here are 3 scripts you can use anywhere in the world. Script A. The time window. I can do that today between 3 and 4 p.m. That's it. No explanation. No story. Time window. Script B. The trade-off. Yes, what should I deprioritize to make room for it? This one is powerful because it forces the other person to think like a manager, not like a child demanding attention. Script C. The message filter. If it's quick, send it as a message. I'll respond in my communication block. Notice the pattern. You're not refusing. You're routing. Rhythm jolt question. How many times do you say yes just to avoid discomfort, then pay for it later with stress? That is the tax week boundaries create. Now, let's make this real with a few dialogue examples you can literally practice, especially if you're learning English. Work example. Coworker. Can you check this right now? You. I'm in a focused block. I can check it at 2 p.m. Coworker. But it's urgent. You. If it's urgent, tell me the deadline and the impact. If not, 2 p.m. works. This is calm and professional, not emotional, not defensive. Family example. Family member. Why are you always busy now? You. I'm not busy. I'm structured. I'm protecting 1 hour for my goals. And family member. So you don't have time for us? You. I do. I'll be fully present after I finish this block. That last line is magic. Fully present. People don't just want your time, they want your attention. Structure helps you give better attention later. Friend example. Friend. Let's hang out right now. You. I can't right now, but I'm free tonight at 8. Friend. Wow, you changed. You. Yes. I'm building something. That's a movie line, but it's also real. And if they respect you, they'll respect that. If they don't, you learned something important. Tool 2. Expectation setting. This is where you prevent problems before they happen. Most conflict doesn't come from boundaries. It comes from surprise. If people are used to instant replies, and suddenly you disappear for 6 hours, they'll create a story. They're ignoring me, and they think they're better. They don't care. So you set expectations one time, calmly. For work. Just a heads up, I check messages twice a day, late morning and late afternoon. If something is urgent, call. For friends, I'm offline in the mornings. If I reply later, it's not personal. For family, from 7 to 8 p.m., I'm doing my focused work. After that, I'm all yours. Mini test. Have you ever lost time because you didn't set expectations, then spent the day cleaning up misunderstandings? Expectation setting is a productivity tool and a relationship tool. Tool 3. Repair. Even with good boundaries, sometimes you'll mess up. You'll be short. You'll forget. You'll disappoint someone. High-value people don't avoid mistakes. They repair fast. Here's the repair script. You're right. I missed that. Here's what I can do now. No excuses. No drama. Repair. Example. Boss. Why didn't you respond earlier? You. You're right. I didn't respond. I was in a deep work block. I can handle it now, or I can send it by 4 p.m. That keeps your boundary and respects the relationship. Now, here's the social retention jolt that most people don't want to hear. Some people will hate your growth, not because you're doing anything wrong, because your new standards make them feel exposed. Your discipline highlights their chaos. So when you change, you'll get comments like, "You're too serious." "You think you're special?" Relax. Translation. Come back down so I don't feel guilty. You have two options: shrink to keep comfort, or grow and accept that not everyone comes with you. That's adulthood. Now, to make this even easier, you need one more concept: availability design. Instead of being randomly available all day, you decide when you're available. Think of it like a store. A professional store has opening hours. A desperate store has the door open 24/7. Which one looks high value? So you create office hours for your life. Example: messages 11:30 a.m. and 4:30 p.m. Calls 2 windows per day. Social time evenings or weekends. Weekends, deep work, mornings or first part of your day. This doesn't make you less kind. It makes you more reliable, because random availability creates random stress. Now, let's tie this back into the day template so it stays cohesive. Your communication block is where people get access. Your deep work blocks are where you protect your future. Your night review is where you adjust based on what happened socially. And here's an important practical method you can do tonight to reduce social friction tomorrow. The pre-message. If you know someone will need you tomorrow, message them today with your structure. Example: hey, tomorrow I'll be offline until noon for focused work. If you need anything urgent, send it now or call. This one message prevents 5 interruptions. Mini test. Do you wait for problems or do you prevent them? Prevention is high value. Now, let's add one more layer for English learners, because this is where you can turn your daily life into practice without extra time. When you set boundaries, you practice English. Use these simple phrases daily. I'm in a focused block right now. I can do it at time. What's the deadline? If it's urgent, please call. I'll reply in my next message window. If you can say those naturally, your English becomes useful immediately, not academic. Now, one last rhythm jolt before we close the whole system. If you don't defend your time, you will spend your life explaining why you have no results. Stop explaining. Start designing. We're almost done. The final step is to bring everything together into a simple weekly plan. So you're not just running days, you're building a life that compounds. And at the very end, I'll give you one strong line to live by, plus a clear CTA you can act on today. And here's the part most people never understand until it's too late. Your life is not made of years. It's made of days. That sounds obvious, but look at how people live. They talk about big goals, while their days are small, messy, reactive, and uncontrolled. Then they act surprised when nothing changes. So I'm going to close this with a final integration: simple, practical, and real. So you can actually run this system weekly, not just for one motivated day. First, stop treating a high-value day like a special event. A high-value day is not a perfect day. It's a repeatable day. Your goal is not to become a robot. Your goal is to become reliable. Because reliability is a superpower. If you can reliably do deep work, reliably practice a skill, reliably review and adjust, your results will separate from average people fast. Not because you're smarter, because you're structured. Now here's the weekly plan that makes this template compound. Pick your flagship days. You don't need 7 perfect days. You need 3 flagship days per week where you run the full template as closely as possible. The other days can be busy days or survival days. Why? Because life is real. Jobs, family, school, stress, travel. So we work with reality instead of fighting it. Example weekly. Structure. 3 days. Full day. 10-step template. 2 days. Busy day. Spine only. 2 days. Recovery. Light structure. Survival day plus rest. Mini test. If you ran just 3 high-value days every week for 12 weeks, do you understand how far ahead you'd be compared to the version of you who tries randomly? That's 36 flagship days per quarter. That's a different life. Second, choose one skill to upgrade for 90 days, not 5. 1. If you're watching this and your goal is English, then English is the skill. But you must practice speaking, not just watching content. Because watching English feels productive, but it's mostly entertainment. Speaking is training. So here's your 90-day skill rule: 30 minutes a day, or 10 minutes on survival days. Never miss twice. And yes, you will feel embarrassed sometimes. That's normal. Embarrassment is the price of learning in public, even if public is just you and your phone voice recorder. Real life truth. Confident speakers aren't born confident. They practiced until it became normal. Third, build your day around identity, not mood. Mood is unreliable. Identity is stable. So you stop saying, "I'll do it when I feel motivated." You start saying, "I'm the kind of person who follows the system." That's not motivation. That's a decision. Here's a line you can steal for yourself. I don't negotiate with my future. Because every time you skip deep work, you're negotiating with your future. Every time you delay skill practice, you're negotiating with your future. And your future always loses that negotiation. Now let's bring everything back to the core promise of this video. If I stole your motivation today, could you still win the day? If you have this template, the answer becomes yes. Because you wake up and you don't ask, "How do I feel?" You ask, "What's the next step?" That's how high-value people operate. They don't chase inspiration. They build structure that creates results, and results create confidence. Now, I want to give you one last do it tonight action that locks the entire system in a single move. Write your tomorrow card on paper. One small card or sticky note. Write this: tomorrow's top 3 outcomes. First, deep work task. First, 10 minutes defined. Communication. Window times. One skill practice plan. English. What you'll speak. One sentence. Night review. Prompt. Tomorrow I adjust by. That card becomes your script for tomorrow. You don't wake up confused. You wake up guided. Not like an amateur who waits for feelings. Not like a victim who blames circumstances. Like a professional who shows up, follows a system, and improves through review. If you want a challenge, here it is. Run this template for 7 days. Score yourself out of 10 each day. Don't chase perfection, chase improvement. Then come back and tell me your score trend, because that trend will tell you the truth about your future. And here's the CTA. Clear and direct. Tonight, before you sleep, Write your tomorrow card and set your first deep work block. Do not wait.